Hi, I'm Brenton Goodman, and this is You Decide. When can the police search you or your car? Today, we'll discuss this. First, let me make the disclaimer that this is not legal advice, but meant for educational purposes. Now, the right of people not to be searched comes from the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution that guarantees people the right to be protected against unreasonable searches by the government. An unreasonable search is basically a search of any place where we, as a society, would recognize that a person has an expectation of privacy. This determination is very fact-based. For instance, we all normally acknowledge that we can reasonably expect to have privacy in our homes, fenced-in yards, and motor vehicles. But if you are seen committing a crime through an open door, you have stolen property sitting on your lawn accessible to others, or you have illegal drugs that are clearly visible through the windshield of your car, those areas can then be searched. It's also important to note that these protections are protections for we, the people, and not our things. So even if you are in an area that is open to the public, like a park, you still have an expectation of privacy in things like your pockets or your purse. Now, there are two ways the government can conduct searches, with a warrant or without a warrant. In order to search someone or a place with a warrant, the government must show a court probable cause that based on the facts, a reasonable person could believe that certain illegal items will be found in the place they want to search. If they are successful, the government can then search in the areas they mentioned in the warrant and any other area on the premises where the illegal items might reasonably be found. Now, just because there is a warrant does not mean that other people can be searched. For instance, if the government has a search warrant for guns on the clothes that I'm wearing in my car, they can't search the clothes of my friends who are just getting a ride home from me. That is unless during the search they develop independent reasonable suspicion or probable cause to do the search on my friends. This would be a type of warrantless search. There are many kinds of warrantless searches. Such searches are like searches based on permission. If an officer simply asks to search you and you say yes, then they can search you. An officer can also get approval to search a common area, like a shared car, by a co-owner that isn't you. They can even search your place if they reasonably relied on someone who they thought lived in the place, even if that person actually did not. Now, there are also searches called Terry searches, which allow officers to search you if they find that there is reasonable articulable suspicion that someone is armed or dangerous. They cannot do a full search when this is all they have, but they are allowed a limited search, or what is called a pat-down, of the outer side of your clothes. This is often what officers rely on when they are doing a traffic stop on the road or conducting an investigation. If an officer feels something that is immediately apparent to be an illegal item, they can do more of a full search of your body or the car. Unsurprisingly to most, officers can also search you when you are being placed under arrest. If you are being arrested after driving your vehicle, they can generally even search your car if they have reasonable belief that evidence relevant to the crime might be in it, or if they tow your car, they can do what's called an inventory search without any warrant or any probable cause. Now, often courts will find that there is less expectation of privacy in your car than in, say, your home, because driving in a car is highly regulated and done on public roads where people expect to be seen by the public. It is important to know that while drivers and owners have a reasonable expectation of privacy for what is in the car, passengers do not. So, if a cop finds a passenger's illegal items in their friend's car, that person can't likely claim they had a reasonable expectation of privacy, because we as a society acknowledge that a passenger doesn't really expect that their stuff won't be seen by others if they place it in a car that is not their own. To try and protect people from unreasonable searches that don't follow these rules, the courts will throw out evidence that is not found according to the law. However, there are certain exceptions where the court will still allow the evidence to be used, like if the search was illegal, but at the same time there was a legal alternative way that could have supported the search, or if the government shows that evidence would have inevitably been found. Last, These rules do not apply to all situations, as courts have found that certain search requirements can be more strict, like those at schools, administrative buildings, airports, and border stations. This is recognized as acceptable to support public safety. Now, is this the right framework for us to protect people's individual liberty to privacy? You decide. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.